This is what drives me absolutely crazy, and I need you to stop everything you're doing right now and pay attention, because what I'm about to reveal could literally be the difference between struggling through retirement and actually enjoying the golden years you've worked your entire life for. Right now, thousands of seniors are being fed straight-up lies about a massive Social Security increase happening in January 2026, and if you fall for this misinformation, you could be kissing goodbye to over $100,000 that rightfully belongs to you. I'm not exaggerating. This isn't clickbait. This is your retirement we're talking about. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's really happening with your money. And more importantly, how to make sure you're not leaving thousands of dollars on the table every single year. Listen, my name is on SSA Wealth Advisors, and I started this channel for one simple reason. I was tired of watching hardworking Americans, people who spent 30, 40, even 50 years paying into the system, getting completely ripped off because nobody ever took the time to explain how Social Security actually works. Every single day, I see seniors struggling to pay for groceries, skipping medications, living in fear that one unexpected expense will completely destroy them financially. And the worst part is that many of these folks could be receiving significantly more money each month if they just understood the rules of the game. That's what we do here at SSA Wealth Advisors. We cut through the garbage, expose the lies, and give you the real strategies that can transform your retirement income. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that button right now, because the information we share on this channel could literally change your life. Now let me get something straight right off the bat. You're seeing these wild headlines everywhere claiming that Social Security payments are magically jumping from around $2,000 to over $3,500 overnight. Let me be crystal clear with you. That's absolute nonsense. The Social Security Administration doesn't just wake up one morning, drink their coffee, and decide to randomly hand out massive raises because they're feeling generous. That's not how any of this works. Every single penny you receive from Social Security is calculated using a specific formula based on your actual work history, what you earned throughout your career, and most critically, the exact age you decide to start collecting your benefits. This isn't some lottery system. This isn't a handout. This is money you earned over decades of hard work, and the amount you receive is determined by mathematics, not magic. But here's where things get interesting, and this is what the so-called experts conveniently forget to mention. While it's true that nobody's check is doubling overnight, there absolutely are real strategies and legitimate situations where someone could be receiving $3,500 or more per month while their neighbor is barely scraping by on $2,000. The difference between these two scenarios isn't luck. It isn't some secret government program that only certain people know about. The difference comes down to understanding exactly how the system works and making intelligent, strategic decisions about when and how to claim your benefits. And that's precisely what I'm breaking down for you today, step by step, in plain English, without all the confusing jargon that the government uses to keep you in the dark. Here's something that absolutely blows my mind. Social Security is literally the primary source of income for millions of retired Americans. For many seniors, it's not just important, it's everything. It's the difference between having a roof over their head or not. It's whether they can afford their heart medication or whether they have to cut pills in half. And yet most people know more about their smartphone than they do about Social Security. They can tell you everything about the latest app or what's trending on social media, but when I ask them about their full retirement age or what delayed retirement credits are, I get blank stares. And that's terrifying because this lack of knowledge is costing people real money. We're not talking about pocket change here. We're talking about potentially tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your retirement that you're just giving away because nobody taught you the rules. So let's talk about these numbers everyone's obsessing over. When you see someone talking about $1,900 versus $3,500, what are you actually looking at? These numbers represent completely different situations based on completely different earnings histories and completely different claiming strategies. The person getting $1,900 a month might have had lower wages throughout their career. Maybe they took time off work, maybe they had periods of unemployment, or maybe they only worked part-time for significant chunks of their career. More importantly, they probably claimed their benefits at age 62, which is the earliest possible age you can start collecting Social Security. Now, on the flip side, that person pulling in $3,500 or more? That's someone who likely earned at or near the maximum taxable wage for most of their working life. We're talking about someone who consistently made good money, paid the maximum into Social Security for 35 years or more, and here's the kicker: they waited until age 70 to start collecting their benefits. Let me break down the cost of living adjustment situation because there's so much confusion about this. Yes, there is a COLA increase coming in January 2026. The exact percentage is 2.5%. That means everyone currently receiving Social Security will see their monthly payment go up by that amount. But let's do some simple math here. If you're currently getting $2,000 a month, a 2.5% increase gives you an extra $50. That takes you to $2,050, not $3,500. The COLA is important. Absolutely. It helps your benefits keep pace with inflation, but it's not this massive windfall that's suddenly going to solve all your financial problems. Now, here's where most people make the biggest mistake of their entire retirement, and I'm begging you not to be one of them. Your full retirement age, and this depends on what year you were born, is somewhere between 66 and 67. That's the age where you can claim 100% of your calculated benefit based on your earnings record. But Social Security gives you a choice. You can start collecting as early as age 62, or you can delay all the way until age 70. And listen to me very carefully, this single decision, this one choice about when to file, can create a difference of literally thousands of dollars in your monthly payment for the rest of your life. If you claim at 62, you're accepting a permanent reduction of approximately 30%. Let me say that again, permanent. It doesn't go back up later. It doesn't adjust when you hit your full retirement age. You're locked into that reduced amount forever. So if your full retirement benefit would have been $2,800 at age 67, by claiming at 62, you're only getting about $1,960. Now multiply that $900 difference by 12 months, that's $10,800 less per year. Over a 30-year retirement, you're looking at over $300,000 in lost benefits. Let that sink in for a minute. But flip this situation completely around. For every single year you delay claiming past your full retirement age, up until age 70, you earn what's called delayed retirement credits. These credits are worth 8% per year. That's not 8% total, that's 8% every single year. So if you can afford to wait from 67 to 70, you're adding 24% to your benefit permanently. That same $2,800 benefit now becomes $3,472. And now you're starting to see how people are getting those $3,500 plus monthly payments. It's not a trick. It's not a loophole. It's simply understanding the system and having the financial ability to delay claiming. Now, I know what some of you are thinking right now. You're worried that Social Security won't be around if you wait. You're scared that the system is going bankrupt and you better grab your money now while you still can. Let me address this fear head on because it's causing people to make terrible decisions that cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, Social Security does face long-term funding challenges. The trust fund reserves are projected to be depleted sometime in the early 2030s. But even if Congress does absolutely nothing, which is highly unlikely, the system would still be able to pay approximately 77% of scheduled benefits from ongoing payroll tax revenue. It's not ideal, but it's also not the system completely disappearing. And historically, Congress has always stepped in to fix Social Security when necessary because it would be political suicide not to. So, taking a guaranteed 30% reduction now because you're worried about a possible 23% reduction later doesn't make any mathematical sense whatsoever. For those of you who are married, you need to understand spousal and survivor benefits, because this is another area where people leave massive amounts of money on the table. If you're married, your spouse can potentially claim a benefit based on your earnings record worth up to 50% of your full retirement age benefit. And here's something crucial for couples to understand. When one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse gets to keep the higher of the two benefits. This means if the higher earner delays until 70 to maximize their benefit, they're not just maximizing their own income, they're also maximizing the survivor benefit that will protect the surviving spouse for potentially decades after they're gone. I've seen too many couples where both people claimed at 62 trying to get their money as fast as possible, and then when one spouse dies, the survivor is stuck with a permanently reduced to benefit for the next 20 years. That's a mistake you cannot undo, and it causes real suffering for seniors who can least afford it. Here's the bottom line, and I need you to really hear this. Social Security was never designed to be your only source of retirement income. It was designed to be a foundation, one part of your overall retirement plan, along with personal savings, pensions, and retirement accounts. The maximum possible benefit for someone retiring in 2026 at full retirement age is around $3,800, and that's only for people who earned at the absolute maximum taxable wage for 35 years straight. Most people, and I mean the vast majority, are getting somewhere between $1,900 and $2,200 per month. If that's your only income, you're living right at the poverty line, and that's not acceptable for someone who worked hard their entire life. So what do you need to do right now? Stop chasing these ridiculous headlines about overnight payment increases that don't exist. Instead, go to ssa.gov right now and create your My Social Security account if you haven't already. Look at your actual earnings history. See what you're projected to receive at 62 versus 67 versus 70. Run the real numbers based on your health, your family history of longevity, your other sources of income, and whether you plan to continue working. Make an informed decision based on your actual situation, not based on fear, not based on what your neighbor did, and definitely not based on clickbait headlines designed to get views. This is your retirement. This is money you earned over decades of hard work and sacrifice. Treat it with the respect and seriousness it deserves, and make the decision that's truly right for you and your family. That's how you actually maximize your Social Security benefits, through knowledge, understanding, and strategic planning, not through gimmicks or shortcuts that don't exist.